Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Eye on Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Goil PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Now, this week we are taking a look at the impact of the continental trade on Ghana's exports, and we had in the studios some two trade experts to have this particular discussion. Let's take a listen.
With overall economic growth, I'm talking about Ghana's economic growth, what would you say, or how would you say it has actually benefited from AfCFTA?
The positioning of GPHA with AfCFTA, giving access to lots of markets, that is the members under AfCFTA and the members of GPHA, exporters under GPHA, there has been free access to, lots of markets out there. And I cite this in point where in October, we happened to be in Kigali, and a few of our members that we took on board, SMEs and MSMEs that we took on board, were instantly, linked to accessible markets and other people in the nations, and they have started trading on that. So I can say that, yes, the positioning of AfCFTA has done so well for this nation in terms of the export. It's opened its gates, it's opened, it's given us lots of capacity building as well. And one of the key I can also mention is that AfCFTA has empowered institutions like ours to, help the MSMEs and SMEs in disseminating the information and the good that the institution has for the country as a whole. So we have benefited immensely in diverse ways from the siting of AfCFTA in our country.
Ghana. It comes in two ways, benefits and challenges. Have we had challenges yet?
So it brings out the point of limited industrialization, in that most of our exports also saw that it was, done in its raw form. We couldn't even process most of the non-traditional exports that were sent out. But it also brings or points to the fact that there's been competition from other countries, i.e. those in the outside the African region. So you will have Chinese company coming to set up, have the license to, and then the local company will go through a lot of hurdles to even get certification to produce. And at the end of the day, things that are even coming from China or otherwise in other nations will be more affordable to the people than the one that is produced here. Why? And that is what he has pointed to. That so there are so many, issues around it. Even though we see the broader daylight, it is going to work. Currently, we are not there yet, and that is the honest truth that we can speak to.
Another bigger challenge, quickly, is infrastructure, logistics, infrastructure. You produce the goods. How does the goods move?
Yep.
So, two big challenge. One has to do with the free movement of persons angle, and then the infrastructure and logistics. So we call them trade-related infrastructure. Because the agreement says there should be free movement of persons. But Aisha, if we have signed that I have to move to your country, and we have today they are launching the Africa Visa Index to show how the feasibility and the flexibility of our visa in terms of immigration moving. If you say that we should do intra-trade, if my goods are moving, then I have to move with my goods. So if there are so many restrictions, which makes it difficult for us to boost intra-African trade, it's a very important issue. So I think they are tackling that from a certain strong angle. They've come out with what we call an agreement or application system, where countries will say, okay, Ghana will say that I've listed about 13 countries, and those 13 countries, I'm going to give them visa-free or waivers. Another country says, okay, I've listed 20 countries. Though that shouldn't be, but it's a start from somewhere. Where in those days it was difficult to go to Seychelles without a visa. You have to go through the African Union. But now, Seychelles, you can pick your passport like South Africa.
Yep.
So they are gradually bridging that gap. Secondly, a very big issue is the logistics and infrastructure. Now, Logistics is key. If you have produced physical goods, we are not talking about services, goods, and you want the goods to move to the next cross-border, if it's not going by road, then it's going by what? Is it apart from air? Then you're looking at rail or you're looking at maritime. We don't own a lot of vessels. If you look at the route, the traffic, we don't own much. It's Switzerland. And even if we own, we don't have a lot of vessels. Why? Yeah. Because the vessels, they complain that there's not enough volume of trade going on here. So one person cannot move his empty ship and come and dock at Ghana where we are not producing to transport to where? So infrastructure is key.
Is it the same with exporting to African countries, compared to Western countries?
I would say yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, as you mentioned, there should be free movement of persons. If I'm moving with my goods, that is the order of the day.
Yeah.
But look at the challenge of border security. We are talking about, you get to borders, those who are moving their goods by road. You get to the borders and because of regional issues, borders are shut. Are you returning with your stuff?
Exactly.
The same way, if you are going by air, and anything can happen. You can be, just asked to wait on for the next, then flight could delay, and then your goods will not get to your destination at the right time that you are expected to deliver. And if it is perishable, yes, you are going to face the consequences for that delayed flight. So yes, in terms of movement, free movement, you have a few. And like you said, the issue of visa. If we are issuing visas, I do not know how the international visa application, sometimes you go through some kind of hurdles to get your visa. Of course, if all your things are right, you wouldn't have a challenge. Yeah. But again, why is it that the trust or the strong confidence is not in the Ghanaian people or the African people that when you go, you come back? What's to do with that?
But Ghana has an advantage as the hub for AfCFTA. How can Ghana leverage this?
I think it takes us back to the initial points that we're making. I am saying that Ghana have seen tremendous improvement. I'm not looking at the exports. I'm looking at the general perception of what you asked. We're among the few countries that really launched a policy framework. In terms of Ghana's readiness, infrastructure-wise, like I said, Terminal 3 was an added advantage. Your port, Eye on the Port just showed certain infrastructure that were commissioned recently. Then again, apart from Ghana Ghana is like a consultant to other countries who want to strategize under AfCFTA. In terms of, apart from infrastructure, in terms of value chain building, you could see that Ghana Export Promotion has positioned itself well. And they work closely with Ghana Exim Bank. So Ghana Exim Bank was like, they finance the export policies or directions that maybe GEPA will bring forward. And they also practically support, they practically support maybe, Aisha, you want to export or you want to participate in a trade mission, but you are unable to afford flights and pay for the exhibition booth. GEPA sometimes pays for them. Yeah. In fact, even under the guided trade, I know the National Coordinating Office, they sometimes facilitate some of these free insurance and other things for people who want to export out. So Ghana positioned itself in the area of one, building SMEs, two, trying to expand certain infrastructure because we have our policy. Three, Ghana also benefit in areas like I always point out to people, because there's a lot of meetings always ongoing since here became a secretariat. And so it produced a certain quasi-employment opportunities in the area of transportation. A lot of these expatriates, they would like their kids to go to school. So in the area of education itself, private educations were given opportunity. And mind you, the secretariat will be employing more people. In fact, they are not done yet. So assume you have about 300 or 400 expatriates who have large families. I know one who is not around, but his son is schooling here. Okay, so that means that once in a while they will be visiting. That gives opportunity to the aviation sector. Now, those who will be going by road, in fact, there was one friend who came all the way from Ethiopia, and he was saying that, he would love to tour the country, but the problem he's seeing is that our commuter buses are just short distances. And he doesn't like to move with Uber because he wants to be in this, what we call trotro. Say that it will be moving from one end to another. He will be able to tour the country. So we have been benefiting. The opportunity has been opened onto us. What we need to do is to ensure that we close the gaps. Journalists, you offer services. We call you professional body under the AfCFTA, professional service. If you are a chef right now, you feel that the journalism here is choked. You should be able to have a certain opportunity to go and establish your office in Tanzania. So Ghana itself, financially, under financial services and the AfCFTA, we have also benefited. Look at our ICT. You yourself, you can tell. We've expanded. We have 5G. We have the mobile money interoperability. The last time Gibbs took us through the journey so far, you could realize that Ghana has really, it's one of the hubs when it comes to financial services. And so we have benefited in those areas because we've seen the likes of Easy Pay making a lot of profit gains.
Yeah.
In the area of aviation, we've seen a lot of a lot of flights per week. The only area that we have not tapped much is inland ports.
Okay.
Where maybe, for example, you see, when you watch these Nigerian movies, you see a lot of these, they've treated their rivers like River Thames in UK. If Ghana, for example, if you take Odona. Odona could be a very good project. Why? Because you open Odona to Lavender Hill.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way and build skyscraper hotels along it. If you take that project from there, if you go to Dakar, called Goil Island, tourism is part of AfCFTA.
Okay.
So, for example, if Ghana really means business, then we don't have to always go by road to visit Elmina Castle and Co. What do? We can decide to create artificial islands for these, castles, so that we don't go by road alone. Now, we rather go by boats from maybe Accra all the way to Cape. If you go to Dakar, it's earning revenue because you go by boat, it's about 45 minutes on the sea. And it's an island where there's business going on. And they don't have more castles than we do.
Yeah.
And we even have more older castles than they. But their concept of trying to benefit from the AfCFTA, and then they don't only have that side, they have what we call the Renaissance. The Renaissance Tower in Dakar, where it's, if you know the traffic of revenue. So, Aisha, you can't quantify all that Ghana has benefited, but these are few. But I think that we need to do more because we have a lot of products that needs to build value chains.
I am of the opinion that we should intentionally build, export-oriented SMEs and MSMEs. In that way, we should build capacity like ABEC is trying to do. The members we are training them on exports because they have the technical know-how, but they don't know what to do with it. And so we are trying to educate. And I know GEPA has come up with sheet rates, helping women in the SME space and MSME space to get their products carried across the borders of Ghana. So if we have more of such, we are going to help expand the export bracket that we currently have.
Eye on Port returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep yield port and ATSL container terminal with a key length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the third quarter of the year.
Welcome back from the break. It's now time for some local news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry.
In a significant move to position Ghana as the leading hub for oil and gas services in West Africa, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has commissioned the 550-meter oil and gas services terminal at the port of Takoradi. The facility includes a 550-meter quay wall, a 10-meter draft for dredged berth pockets, and 1.9 kilometers of access roads equipped with storm drainage systems. Additionally, it offers a 200,000 square meter serviced land area designed for oil field operators, logistics service providers, operational offices, workshops, and storage facilities. The terminal is poised to serve as a world-class shore-based platform featuring offshore supply vessel berthing facilities and serviced waterfront land to support oil and gas exploration and production activities. President Akufo-Addo highlighted the terminal's strategic importance in enhancing Ghana's competitive edge in the oil and gas sector. He noted that the facility would reduce transit times and operational costs while generating employment opportunities.
The completion of the Takoradi Oil and Gas Services Terminal is a key milestone in these efforts. This facility will not only streamline offshore supply services, but also enhance heavy engineering and fabrication activities that are vital to petroleum exploration and drilling campaigns within our region. By offering a comprehensive suite of services, this terminal will strengthen Ghana's position as a competitive destination for oil and gas operations. This terminal stands as a hallmark of modern engineering and innovation.
The president also reiterated his administration's commitment to developing a third commercial port at Keji in the Keta municipality, furthering the country's maritime development ambitions.
Substantial progress has been made, including feasibility studies, stakeholder engagements, and an environmental impact assessment. I'm acutely aware of the anticipation and enthusiasm of the people of the Volta region for this project. I assure them that we're committed to seeing it through to fruition, as it will be a game changer for the region and the nation as a whole.
Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama commended the project, noting its potential to significantly impact the petrochemical exploration industry in Ghana and the West African sub-region.
Today, that facility is completed. We are operating it. The draft is set that we should allow our local people to be part of port infrastructure development. So IBISTEC, who did the container terminal, also did the liquid bulk terminal. GPHA constructed the bulk jetty, and today we are commissioning the oil and gas.
Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, expressed his gratitude to the President for supporting the transformation of Takoradi Port into a modern, multi-purpose facility.
On behalf of GPHA and Ghana in particular, we are grateful for all your support to the port sector, because today, Takoradi used to be a traditional export port of raw materials, manganese, bauxite, and cocoa. Thanks to you, you helped GPHA achieve the vision of transforming Takoradi also into a multi-purpose modern port, which is competing with Tema, and again having a specialized oil and gas facility that Tema doesn't even have.
The commissioning of the terminal marks a crucial step in Ghana's efforts to establish itself as a hub for oil and gas operations and reinforces its role as a key player in the regional energy sector. Ghana's ambition to develop sufficient and efficient multimodal transport systems across the country is steadily progressing. Last Friday in Tema, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo commissioned the much-anticipated 97-kilometer Tema to Mpakadan standard railway line. The president also launched 2 new diesel multiple-unit trains, which will be used for the shuttle service on that route, which includes stop points in Afienya, Shai Hills, Pong, Joapong, and Doyimu. Afcon's Infrastructure Limited, an Indian engineering solutions firm, began the construction of the Tema-Mpakadan railway line in 2018 under a $447 million fund provided by the India Export-Import Bank. The president said this milestone is proof that Ghana can realize its ambitions when vision, commitment, and hard work align. He said the project, when fully operationalized, will contribute to the national agenda to connect Ghana's ports and hinterlands through efficient multimodal transport systems.
The Tema-Mpakadan railway line is just one piece of a larger puzzle. Guided by our 2020 revised railway master plan, we'll continue to expand the reach of Ghana's railway network to unlock the full potential of our economy.
The Minister for Railway Development, Peter Amewu, who called the project the first of its kind, said the Tema to Mpakadan line forms part of a larger rail network master plan expected to improve connectivity between the major regional capitals in Ghana.
It is important to mention that as a result of the construction of the Center Bridge, a significant engineering achievement is being awarded from the Guinness Book of Records to give recognition to the world's deepest Reka Pile Bridge, which goes as deep as 76 meters below water level and further embedded in rock of length of greater than 10 meters. What this means is that this is the first of its kind in the world.
The CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Yawusu, added more on the project scope.
I would therefore invite business communities to take advantage of this incredible and viable project. For example, real estate developers can build residential properties to decongest other parts of Greater Accra. Other business opportunities include, but not limited to, the construction of factories for manufacturing activities and bonded warehouse along the line to decongest the Tama port.
The Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Manish Gupta, said this feat is another testament to the long-standing development partnership his country has shared with Ghana.
The commissioning of the railway line today and the launch of DMUs are confident to reshape Ghana's transportation landscape. It will enhance economic integration and regional connectivity and make the country a transportation hub for the surrounding. Rail projects, by their very nature, are energy efficient and environment friendly. This project will contribute towards reduction in carbon emissions and eventually an end-to-end sustainable transportation system in Ghana.
The 44th Annual Council and 19th Roundtable of the Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa has ended in Conakry, Guinea, with a call on member ports to institute measures that will make their ports user-friendly to the hinterlands or landlocked countries. Speakers at this year's conference were unanimous and resolute in their quest to see improved service delivery to the landlocked countries in the area of transit trade. Organized under the theme, Optimizing Access to the Hinterland, Challenges of Connectivity, Fluidity, and Reliability, the conference saw some 500 participants from member ports attending. Opening the conference was the Prime Minister and Head of Government Business in Guinea-Conakry, Mr. Baouri. Other speakers at the conference included the Secretary General of PIMOCA, Jean-Marie Kofi, and the newly elected President, Dr. Abubakar Danchoho.
My assurance to you is that we will do all in our capacity to uphold the objectives of the association towards enhancing the role of the maritime sector as an enabler of economic development and accessibility.
Our quest to ensure that we have quite good economic development for the whole of Africa will not. We need to harmonize our is why we have traveled so far to have discussions to ensure that economic development is rural.
During the 8th edition of the African Ports Awards, GPHA's Tema Port swept 5 awards, namely Best Port in Communication of Statistical Data, 2023, Best Port for Integration of Sub-Regional Economies, 2023, Best Port for Import and Export Container Traffic, excluding Transshipment and Transit, 2023, Best Port in Containers, 2023, and Best Port in Integrated Management System Policy. The 29th United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP29, took place in Baku, Azerbaijan from November 11 to 22, 2024. The conference brought together global leaders, experts, and activists to discuss urgent actions needed to combat the climate crisis. Over 70,000 attendees from 197 countries gathered for COP29, where one of the central themes was the commitment to drastically reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The goal is to safeguard lives and livelihoods from the escalating impacts of climate change. In his address, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo emphasized his country's commitment to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 64 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent by 2030. He also reaffirmed Ghana's dedication to protecting its forest, promoting sustainable practices, and contributing significantly to global climate solutions.
Our partnership with countries such as Brazil to elevate forest protection ambitions represents an inspiring example of the unity and dedication that this challenge demands. Excellencies, it has been a profound honor for Ghana to serve as co-chair of this important partnership. Reaching our targets will require steadfast political commitment and ongoing dialogue, and I'm confident that our successors, the United Kingdom and Guyana, will carry this mission forward with vigor.
Brazil's Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Her Excellency Marina Silva, shared her country's vision for the Amazon rainforest, stressing the importance of developing effective mechanisms for its long-term conservation. She also highlighted the critical need to include and empower local communities in the region's sustainable development.
One of the consensus was to develop financial mechanisms, innovative ones, for the sustainable conservation of the forests and to promote inclusion and development of local communities. Brazil, for example, has reduced significantly the deforestation of the Amazon region in 2023 and thus avoiding about 400,000 tons of CO2 compared to the previous year.
Colombia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Luis Gilberto Murillo, underscored the need for greater efforts to protect the environment while simultaneously revitalizing Colombia's economy. He reaffirmed Colombia's commitment to transitioning towards a sustainable economy as part of its 2030 Diversification Action Plan.
Action needs to go beyond words. The portfolio demonstrates that protecting nature also means revitalizing Colombia's economy. Colombia is committed to transitioning towards sustainable economy aligned with the 2030 Biodiversity Action Plan, which aims to triple bioeconomy-related jobs.
The management of Ghana Oil Company has held its annual Thanksgiving service, which also doubled as a farewell ceremony to honor the group CEO and Managing Director, Honorable Kwame Osei-Prempeh. The event, which was under the theme, Celebrating the Grace of God, recognized Kwame Osei-Prempeh's remarkable contributions to the company during his tenure on the board since 2019. The ceremony, held at the Assemblies of God Church in Accra, brought together government officials, stakeholders, industry players from various oil marketing companies, past executives of Goil, staff, and the general public. In a testimonial speech, the board chairman, Reginald Daniel Laye, lauded Honorable Osei-Prempeh's pivotal role in spearheading key projects critical to the company's growth and expansion. This included the successful completion of a multi-million-dollar bitumen plant, a joint venture with SMB of La Côte d'Ivoire supplying bitumen to road contractors, as well as the inauguration of 5 modern auto gas stations to promote environmentally safe vehicle fuel options.
Since his appointment, Honorable Osei has worked assiduously to retain the company's status as the oil marketing company of choice. Honorable Prez presided over the steady growth and expansion of Goil, showing resilience despite the strict evidence presented by COVID-19 in 2020 and 2021. Under his leadership, Goil has remained a crucial linchpin in the oil marketing sector and relied on by many state-owned institutions, agencies, and other quasi-government departments.
In his farewell address, Honorable Kwame Osei Prempeh reflected on his 5-year tenure, highlighting milestones such as the establishment of Goil Bitumen and Goil Upstream, the introduction of the cylinder recirculation model in Tema and Kumasi, and the company's ability to fully repay loans for the bitumen plant through internally generated funds.
I would like to thank His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, for giving me the opportunity to serve Mother Ghana through Goil. My almost 5.5 years at Goil has been a wonderful experience. Goil has seen expansion in the birth of Goil Bitumen and Goil Upstream.
He expressed profound gratitude to the management and staff of Goil PLC for their professionalism and unwavering support, which he described as instrumental to the company's achievement during his leadership.
I'm grateful to the management team for their professionalism and support that I enjoy. I am equally grateful to line and unit managers for their hard work. Permit me to thank my zonal managers who are the frontliners in the front for the work. They never let me down. I would also like to thank the entire staff of Goil for their love and cooperation that I enjoy.
As part of the celebration, outstanding staff members were presented with citations in recognition of their hard work and dedication to the company.
Let's now take a look at some international ports and maritime news.
South Korea's shipbuilding industry is optimistic about 2025, driven by strong demand for LNG carriers and naval contracts amid a multi-year order supercycle. Despite China's dominance in up to 70% of global orders, South Korean yards excel in high-value sectors, including LNG and emerging ammonia carriers. HD Hyundai reported $19.53 billion in 2024 orders, far exceeding its $13.5 billion forecast, while Hanwha Ocean secured $7.9 billion for 39 vessels. The industry anticipates $50 billion in 2025 orders, with LNG carrier orders projected to grow from 55 in 2024 to 88 in 2025. Naval shipbuilding is a critical focus, with HD Hyundai developing submarines for Peru and securing U.S. Navy certification for maintenance. Hanwha Ocean is expanding its U.S. presence, awaiting approval for the Philly shipyard acquisition to pursue Navy contracts. A potential second Trump presidency seen as a boost, with expectations for increased U.S. naval investment and counter-China policies. While a commercial shipbuilding slowdown is expected post-LNG demand, South Korea's naval focus and strong U.S. ties are projected to sustain growth. The future of two major North Sea oil and gas projects, Equinor Rosebank and Shell's Jackdaw, is under threat as climate activists challenge their development in court, leveraging the UK Supreme Court's landmark Finch versus Surrey ruling. This precedent, established in June 2024, requires emissions from burning oil and gas to be considered in project approvals, bolstering the activist case to halt the multi-billion-dollar ventures. Rosebank, a $9.8 billion project approved in 2023, aims to produce 69,000 barrels of oil and 21 million standard cubic feet of natural gas daily by 2026-2027, equivalent to 8% of the UK's total output during that period. Ithaca Energy recently reported ahead of scheduled progress on subsea installations for Rosebank. Meanwhile, Shell's Jackdaw field, expected to produce 40,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, started in 2025, could cover over 6% of the UK's North Sea gas production. Both projects promise reduced upstream carbon dioxide intensity and operational emissions, but omit Scope 3 emissions, a key argument for Greenpeace and other activists in their legal challenge. If the court rules against the development, it could set a new standard for fossil fuel approvals, putting the future of the UK's oil and gas industry in jeopardy.
Let's take a look at the schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port. It's time for the phrase of the day.
MODU stands for Mobile Offshore Drilling Unit. It is a vessel capable of engaging in drilling operations for the exploration for or exploitation of resources beneath the seabed, such as liquid or gaseous hydrocarbons, sulfur or salt.
Health and safety tips next.
Reflectors or high visibility clothing. As a form of personal protective equipment, high visibility clothing is worn to increase a person's visibility and therefore prevent accidents caused by persons not being seen. As a result, it is often worn in occupations where hazardous situations are created by moving vehicles or low lighting conditions. These occupations include ports, railway, road workers, airport workers, and emergency services.
So that's all for this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week, and also don't forget to follow us on our various social media platforms on your screens.